following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Hey guys, Dick here from Podcastrophe Podcast, and you are listening to the best of the Journey into Comics Network, where we take the best of each episode from the week and we highlight it for you and bring it to you in the form of this podcast today. So, if you want, just take a breather, relax, listen to the best of the Journey into Comics Network, and, just do me a favor. Just do me one solid favor. Try to make every day a Big Dick Day. Thanks, guys.
Piss off, Ghost!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics.
There are these people that put together this campaign, Indiegogo or something. I'm not going to give them credit. Sorry. You can search it down if you really want to give to their stupid fucking cause. Because it is stupid, and that's my opinion, and that's why you're here. So, what is this opinion? Why is it stupid? What's going on? Let's fast track it back to where we started here. These fans are trying to raise money. They've raised several millions of dollars, I think, towards their ultimate goal. I think I don't see where it is, that they have the actual number. Whoa. Okay. Here in the original article, 7 million. Wow, they've raised $7 million. So there is a website called RemakeTheLastJedi.com. I accidentally plugged them. I didn't mean to. But they are trying to essentially... what the fuck? That's crazy, you guys. Okay, so check this shit out. They decided... I just did some, last-minute research on the show while you guys were here listening, and you're like, he's reading that shit and not saying anything. This is a terrible podcast episode. I'm not really a fan. Anyway, so here's what's going on, you guys. There's this website that's trying to tell people to donate to it. They're planning on giving $200 million to Disney so they'll remake The Last Jedi. Because they feel that Disney fucked up and that there's too much of this, divisiveness. The thing that they're not realizing is the best part about The Last Jedi, love it or hate it, it's got everybody talking about Star Wars, and that's all that matters. We're all fucking nerds. There was shit we didn't like about the old school movies. There was shit we didn't like about the prequels. Guess what? We bitched about the prequels, and they were fucking terrible. People still love them. So what? There are parts of those movies that aren't that bad. There are parts of those movies that are fucking awful, So... what do I think of this? I think this is a very poor thing. Okay, listen. The movie's already out. It would be an utter disaster, an utter disgrace, and a slap in the face of the names of the original director of the movie, Rian Johnson, and the people that worked on that movie, which I thought was brilliant. They did a great, fucking fantastic job. The Last Jedi was so good. But it would just be a slap in their face, and it's so wait, now you're going to have episode 8 again and then try to say the other one never came out? It already happened, bro. Everyone's already seen it. It made a lot of money, and a lot of people liked it, so fucking get over it, man. Why? The crazy thing, I think, is they've raised $155 million of their $200 million goal to give to Disney. They are very close to this and nearing the end. Unless they're lying and just faking the counter going up. I don't know how that shit works. They couldn't do that on Breaking Bad, though, I guess. So they probably didn't do it here. Let's go to my favorite source, comicbook.com, to get some actual fan thoughts from Twitter. What people think about this possible remake of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I don't think so, Jack, but let's see what it says. Oh, also, I wanted to mention, these directors are confident that they could use the footage that was shot for Carrie Fisher in the movie and keep it. They want to keep parts of the movie, I guess, because it wasn't that bad. Fucking assholes. Okay, so back to it. Let's go to the Twitter machines. A remake of The Last Jedi is just going to be a bunch of straight white dudes measuring their lightsabers and saying actually for 2 hours. Another person says, in order to save Star Wars, we are going to remake The Last Jedi with a box of puppets, a package of goggly eyes, and my dad's camcorder. Please give me 300 million pounds. I'm going to remake The Last Jedi and make every character a lady and have Luke Skywalker marry 6 porgs in a trench coat. Someone put a picture of Peter Griffin in his fort that has a sign that says no girls allowed, and it says proposed The Last Jedi fan remake. Oh my God, there's leaked script for this already? They've already leaked some script for this shit. Let's read what it says. I'm being totally sarcastic. This isn't actually the script, by the way. If you fucking believe that, you're crazy. The Last Jedi remake script, page 1. Exterior space or something. We see Luke Skywalker being cool because he's like our dad, except he actually loves us and is proud of us and would never tell us to get a job even though we don't want to. Luke. Girls are smelly and bad. That's the leak. That's the first page. Shit. Remake The Last Jedi, except this version is just Luke milking every single Thala siren on the island. That's actually Thala siren on the island. Okay, that was a little tongue twister. I'd like to formally submit my pitch for The Last Jedi remake to anyone that's listening. It's exactly the same as The Last Jedi, except the scene with shirtless Kylo Ren now has a waistline on his pants 6 inches higher. So, pants even higher, closer, probably over his nipples at that point. I, for one, think that The Last Jedi remake looks fantastic. Wait, that's Fairly Odd Parents, bro. That's hilarious. Though My Last Jedi remake is the same movie, except everyone is a porg and only speaking porg noises, and the porgs are replaced with actual actors making porg noises and super small and can fly. After seeing all the remake The Last Jedi nonsense, I have one question. Do you guys not know about fan fiction? Yeah? No? I didn't think so. Yeah, this is bullshit, guys. Don't buy into this. Don't give them money. They don't need to do that. It's actually really weird, though, because I just pulled up an article, as I do. Rian Johnson responded to this. And Remake The Last Jedi tweeted, our team of producers is offering to cover the budget for a remake of The Last Jedi in order to save Star Wars. Share this and spread the word to let Robert Iger and Disney know you want this. This isn't a joke. We're ready to have the convo now. Hashtag Remake The Last Jedi. Hashtag Star Wars. Rian Johnson responded with, please, 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 please actually happen. Please, 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 please. Prayer hands for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. What does that mean? I think that it's just him more maybe he's being a little sarcastic because he knows that'll never happen, right? Like, oh yeah, please take away my work of art by yeah, please do that, guys. You know, like, it's crazy. Why would they do that? I don't understand. It's just bogus, you guys. I'm not a fan of it at all. Okay, so where do we even go from here? I'm trying to figure out if I have any more Star Wars news to talk about. I don't think I do. I feel like I've got a fuck ton of Star Wars news that I've been not covering yet. There's a little bit of comic book news, I guess, I need to talk about. So, oh man, comic book news. How do I want to even start this? This is going to run late, you guys. But it is what it is, anyways. So, comic book news. We'll start here. And this is going to be difficult back to what we were talking about earlier. So, Amazing Spider-Man 801 came out, and that's Dan Slott's final book. Interesting because without meaning to today, I read 2 Dan Slott books to talk about on today's show. And, well, it's just interesting, right? So Amazing Spider-Man 801 is a story that takes place just after, obviously, Amazing Spider-Man 800. That storyline concluded with lots of different things happening. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't read it yet and you haven't heard me talking about it. Well, then it sucks to suck. But anyways, 801 is interesting because it's in its own pocket. The story is told literally the day that Ben Parker is killed, right? So it's actually got art that looks like it's from the 60s OG Spider-Man. Like, that's how much care they put into this story, right? And so I'll break down the story really quickly, and then I'll kind of give my perspective. Essentially, the story, it doesn't serve as like a launching off point really or anything. It's really Dan Slott saying goodbye to the character in a clever and really emotionally driven way. It will pull at your heartstrings, especially this was an especially hard read for me, and you guys will again know why here in a short second. So you read the book, and it's about this guy who goes to this supermarket or to this like corner market, and it gets robbed by this thug, but Spidey saves the day. And this guy was freaking out that he wasn't going to have time to say goodbye to his father, who was sick and dying in the hospital. And he only had so much time to see him. He knew that his dad was on, like, the clock was ticking, and he was worried he was going to miss him. But Spider-Man intervened, saved the day, and this dude didn't end up late. And he was always like, oh, man, I appreciate Spider-Man for that. And then it kind of fast tracks into the future, and it's Spidey, and he's fighting a bunch of baddies, and this dude gets, he gets to help Spidey a little bit, and he introduces himself. Hey, I'm Kenneth. Like you definitely don't remember me, but like I've interacted with you once before, Spidey, and it was like you don't know what you did for me. Like it was a really special thing. Thank you, because you gave me the time that I didn't have. You saved my life and gave me additional time that I didn't think I was going to get. So I'm grateful for that. Spidey's like, oh, well, that's cool. It's pretty cool because the story also shows in the back when Parker saves this dude, the origin of the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and where that comes from. Like, why did he start saying that and whatnot? Essentially, the guy at the corner market, the dude who was getting robbed, says, what are you going to do? He asks if he's going to eat the burglar. Spider-Man's like, no, I'm not going to eat him. I'm going to leave a note that says, well, I mean, I'm like not a bad dude. I'm friendly and like a neighborhoody dude. Like, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He writes it on the thing. It's like, okay, well, that's officially in canon. That's awesome. So then, fast forward, and it's this Ken guy, talking to his niece. And she's like, oh, of all the superheroes we get to meet, why did it have to be Spider-Man? Lame. Like, nobody wants that. And he's like, hey, whoa. Spider-Man's a badass. And there's a really cool picture because it's a different art now. It's not 60s style. They kind of give you a little update during the book. There's this awesome scene that's like all these different villain fights he's had in this big-ass awesome homage. And the dude Ken says, he's like, Spider-Man risks his life every day to save moms and dads and doctors and preachers and whatever and uncles. And he says that, like, yeah, Spidey especially is out there saving other people's uncles, and it's very poignant because, like, Uncle Ben gets killed in the book and whatnot, like in the OG Spider-Man and whatnot. And here it's a hearkening back to that in a way that is so cleverly done. It's just like, here's this beautiful little send-off story. It doesn't affect the future. It doesn't affect what's coming. Ryan Ottley and crew are gonna like tear up this new Spider-Man book. I'm so pumped to get in on that as soon as it drops. Probably here in the next couple weeks, actually. But, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 801, heartbreaking. There's some dialogue. I would pull it up, but I will weep, and you guys don't want that. It'll be very sad. I'm just kind of going off of what I remember. And, it was a really great book. It was a really good farewell for Dan Slott. He's a brilliant writer.
From the suburbs of Chicago and Illinois, this is The Puhr Report with your host, Andrew Puhr.
Let's talk about this shit that's been going on with our president. First of all, let's talk about how he signed an executive order, I believe, back in April. That was the official declaration of separating families who are illegal. And that was in April, okay? So from April to now, we've went from that being signed and you thinking not much is getting done to children in cages. That's fucking really happening. Children in cages. Actual children are inside of cages sleeping with little fucking space blankets that are made out of fucking aluminum foil and shit. And they're barely scraping by, and there's little tiny kids that are like 2 and 3 years old still wearing diapers, having 7-year-olds change them in cages, all right? So, great backlash from this. There were some reporters that finally got in and actually looked at one of the places, and it looks like it's like just a old Walmart that they turned into a fucking place for people who are quote unquote illegal, right? And I have some things to say about that. So, just a couple days ago, Trump is like, okay, enough is enough. Well, first of all, he said about a week ago, he's like, it's the Democrats' fault. It was their law. It's their bill. They're the ones that we can't stop. We can't control them. We can't deal with it. Democrats. It's all their fault. Blame. He signed the fucking bill. He's the guy that signed the bill for separation with the families with this immigration stuff, okay? Yes, some of the laws that are in place now were in place under the Bush, Clinton, and Obama administrations. However, none of them separated families and during deportation and stuff like that. That's crazy. That's inhumane. You're permanently scarring these children in PTSD. You want to know how to make enemies of the United States? What you're doing. You're creating enemies right now because our country is being shitty to people for no fucking reason. They're trying to seek asylum to get away from the shit that they're dealing with. You know where the worst cartel in the world is? Motherfucking Mexico. Of course they want to get the fuck out of there. Use your fucking brains, man. So Trump's okay, I'm gonna try to maintain professionalism here. Reeling it back in, right? So Trump finally goes, okay, well, I'm gonna sign this executive order that's gonna stop splitting families up. Okay? So he signs it, and then all the people that are pro-Trump are like, oh my God, he's the greatest. He saved these children from cages. He literally created a bill, blamed it on someone else, and then undid the bill, and then said, yay, praise me, heh? That's like someone who fucking hurts someone, says that person hurt them, and then turns it all around and makes it all willy-nilly. That's crazy talk. Trump is crazy making. He's literally playing a giant game with our entire country because he's keeping everybody confused, and other things are going on. Much darker things are going on. How is it not a surprise to anyone that he's all of a sudden starting to befriend another dictator in Kim Jong-un and another dictator in Mr. Vladimir Putin? It's not a surprise to me, man. What is obviously happening? It's very obvious. It's dangerous, too. And it's just man, I hope there are people that are in other countries right now that are listening to the network going, well, at least those guys don't want to fucking buy into this Trump bullshit. There's a lot of us that don't want to buy into it. Make sure you all know that across the globe is that I'm spreading this message for the network. We don't want to deal with stuff like that, all right? More Trump news. This is what it is. Trump is calling for depriving immigrants who illegally cross the border the due process rights. Essentially, he's saying that if they come over and invade our country, that they must immediately, with no judges or courts, get brought back to where they came from. So let me just hold on, wait a minute. So what you're saying is, right now I'm sitting here just chilling, living my life. I've been a United States citizen literally my entire existence. I was born on this planet, on this country, in a town called Danville, in a hospital. Okay? An ICE agent could come up to me and go, you're an illegal immigrant, and fucking deport me. I don't know where the fuck you'd deport me to, but he could. I don't really have to worry about that per se. I have the unfortunate and fortunate luck of being a white man. So they're not going to look at me like they look at some other people, and that's the bullshit I'm sick of, right? Like, that's fucked up. Okay, listen, people who are quote-unquote immigrating to this country illegally are seeking asylum because they're in a fucking crazy country. They're trying to have an opportunity at a new life. That is the thing that I'm being so upset by. Yeah, there are some gangbangers that have come in, but it's not families. It's not these children that are getting separated by the, like, why is ICE not cracking down on gangs? Why aren't they going in the fucking violent gangbanging ass parts of the state of these states and taking people out? Just curious. If you can do it with families, why can't you do it with guys with guns? Oh, wait, because they have guns. Oh, but they got the guns from you guys because that's just how it all works. Oh, well, fuck me then for having an opinion like that, right? Anyways, back to my fuck Trump tirade right now because I think it's about to start. So he's essentially saying there's a zero tolerance policy on immigration. He's saying that he's still going to deport people. He's just going to deport people with their families. So he's going to, okay, you guys are all going at once. Fuck it. So now there are 2,300 children still separated from their families. I think like 400 or 500 got reunited, but that's a small ass amount. Trump saying that that our system is a mockery of good immigration policy and law and order. You dumb son of a bitch. We are all immigrants. Here's a fact. Part of my family and part of other people's families are Native Americans. They were here first, okay? Lived here a long time with lots of great shit, just breezing out, having a good time. All right? Then some colonizers show up and fuck everything up. We are immigrants. You are immigrants. If you think you're not an immigrant, look at yourself. You're a fucking immigrant. Everyone is an immigrant if you're on this fucking country. If you're on this part of the country. In our country. If you're in America, you're an immigrant. If you're in Canada, you might be an immigrant. Everywhere you go is immigrants because we're all just fucking people, man. Like, how do you not understand that? People are too fucking blind to the reality of what is going on. They're essentially saying, you're different, 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 and now we all need to be apart from each other because of those differences. We've lived in harmony for a long fucking time without that. Things aren't perfect, but that's because stupid shit keeps happening, like presidents named fucking Trump. Immigration policies laughed at all over the world is very unfair to all the people who have gone through the system legally and are waiting online for years. Immigration must be based on merit. He's just talking out of both sides of his mouth. He's saying two different things. I want you guys to know that. And this is all coming down hard. Like this with the Mueller investigation that we haven't touched on in several weeks here at the Puhr Report. Like, there's other shit going on. Let's get back to some more Trump camp news. As Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked to leave a restaurant over the fact that she is the press secretary. According to the New York Times, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, said she was asked to leave a Virginia restaurant Friday night because of her work in the Trump administration, becoming the latest official to be singled out for her support of the president's policies. In a tweet Sunday, Ms. Sanders said that the owner of the restaurant, the Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia, suggested she leave, and she complied. The woman's actions say far more about her than me, said Sanders. I always do my best to treat people, including those I disagree with, respectfully, and I will continue to do so. A person who identified himself as a waiter at the restaurant in a Facebook post said that Ms. Sanders had been accompanied by 7 other guests. So the restaurant did not respond to phone calls, and its website appeared to have crashed Sunday morning as reports of the episode began circulating. The encounter is the third time this past week in which Trump's administration officials were confronted over his or her political stance. As the tensions continue to escalate over the White House's child separation policy, Christian Nelson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, was heckled on Tuesday night when she was dining at a Mexican restaurant. If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace, demonstrators shouted, according to a video of the confrontation shared on social media. And Stephen Miller, a senior advisor to the president known for his hardline stance on immigration, was described as a fascist by protesters on Sunday while also at a Mexican restaurant, the New York Post reported. While the administration struggles to reunite the families amid outrage over the images and audio recordings of sobbing children taken away from their parents, the divisive messaging on both sides of the debate has intensified. Within hours, the Red Hens review page online painted a stark picture of the divide. Some people left glowing reviews for the farm-to-table restaurant from halfway across the country. Others denounced the political choices of the owner. The best, one reviewer on Yelp wrote, leaving 5 stars. I've heard they serve crow to those deserving of it. Oh, that's golden. Pathetic, the next review read. How dare you use politics to discriminate? That's what the Republicans are doing. Seems like you would be an actual loser in this case once the review really sinks in. Good luck, pal. On Facebook, the establishment has accumulated more than 10,000 5-star reviews, more than 18,000 1-star reviews, prompting some criticism over Miss Sanders' decision to use her White House social media account instead of her personal one to identify the restaurant. Another area restaurant with the same name, an unaffiliated Red Hen in the neighborhood of Washington, found itself in the crossfires, receiving some of the vitriol intended for the Lexington establishment. At PressSec went to the unaffiliated Red Hen Lex last night, not our DC-based restaurant, it said on Twitter.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
But we're going to do this now. This is the end of our show. We are going to have okay, so this is a Disney versus Pixar.
I can already tell you that Disney is way better than Pixar.
Okay.
You don't even need to do this fucking bracket.
But we need to determine who's the overall winner. So let's go down the line and determine who wins in each battle. Lion King versus Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, so let's see. It says seeds determined by DB rankings divided by era. Disney 1989 through 99, the best years, by the way.
Yes.
Disney 2000 to present. Pixar 95 to 2000. Pixar 2008 to present. So this is excluding anything pre-1989 because clearly they would be the best movies anyway. Okay, so let's do it.
Sure.
What do we do?
So we're going to start here.
Okay.
Lion King versus Lilo and Stitch.
Lion King.
Easy.
Hands
My
down.
vote's Lion King. Move on. Up next, Wreck-It Ralph versus Mulan.
You know, as much as I love Mulan, I'm going to go with Wreck-It Ralph.
It's a much better movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a way better movie.
Easy for
Mulan
this one,
was
too.
really kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
if you think about
Aladdin
it.
versus Frozen.
Definitely Aladdin.
Aladdin wins hands down. Tarzan versus Big Hero 6.
Big
Big
Hero
Hero
6
6.
for the win. I fucking hate Phil Collins. And he did the soundtrack for that.
Oh, for Tarzan?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Zootopia
sad.
versus the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh.
We're going
well,
to disagree on this because my vote's Zootopia.
Yeah, I like The Hunchback of Notre Dame better. That was a sad movie, though. But I like that one better than Zootopia. I didn't really like Zootopia that much.
I thought it was fun, but we'll go
It
with
was
Hunchback.
alright.
That's fine.
All
I
right.
didn't hate Hunchback of Notre Dame. Little Mermaid versus Moana.
Now, that's interesting that they would put those two together. I'm going to go with The Little Mermaid, clearly, because I love
your jam.
that movie. But Moana was really good. I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, up next, Tangled versus Hercules.
I like Tangled better.
Tangled, yep. Beauty and the Beast versus the
Can I
Emperor.
just kind of say Hercules kind of blew?
It was awful. Do you know that was the only movie I've ever... Well, okay, in my youth, because it's changed now. We actually experienced this on a Foodies episode where we went to a movie and we were the only people in the theater. The first time that happened to me in my life was
Hercules?
at Hercules. We were the only people in the Hubson Theater. I literally did cartwheels up and down the aisle the whole movie and just ran around because I didn't
that
really
movie
care.
wasn't that great.
It wasn't that great, but I have those awesome plates from McDonald's.
You do. We have the Hercules McDonald's plates.
And the Megara,
Megara,
whatever.
Megara.
See, I only saw it once. Fuck her. I don't know her name. I'm awful.
Well, I was a history major in college, so you would think that I would really enjoy that movie.
However,
it sucked.
it was bad. Beauty and the Beast versus the Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, fuck. Well, I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast. But
Fair.
Emperor's New Groove was really great.
Okay, so now we'll be
These
done.
are not fair.
We'll be done with this for a second. Now we're gonna move over. Toy Story versus Brave.
Toy Story.
Toy Story 3 versus Ratatouille.
Toy Story 3. That was super sad.
Yeah.
Bummer. Hate
Yep.
it, but still way better.
Monsters Inc.
Ratatouille was good too, though.
Yeah. Monsters Inc. versus Monsters U.
Oh, Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Oliver's obsessed with Monsters University and he burnt me out on it.
I like Monsters Inc. better.
I do too.
I think it's a much funnier movie.
It
Monsters
is.
University was just kind of a
It was a
cheap.
downer.
They could have done a sequel and made the movie better. It should have been Boo's movie, anyways. Wall-E versus A Bug's Life. Wall-E.
A Bug's Life. I didn't like Wall-E. It was really sad for me.
That movie's brilliant. I loved
it was a great
Wall-E.
movie, but I liked A Bug's Life better.
What are we going to do here?
I didn't even really like A Bug's Life that much, so I'll go with WALL-E.
Is that budging because I gave you Hunchback?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Coco versus Cars.
I've never seen Coco.
I would vote for Cars anyways because Coco's a movie that's a lot about death.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
it's not really my
Well,
jam.
we can go with Cars. I haven't seen Coco.
Sure. Incredibles versus Inside Out.
Incredibles.
I didn't see Inside Out.
I thought Inside Out was kind of... What is it with fucking Pixar
That
making you
movie
cry?
was like emotionally manipulative, right? Because they like played with the inside. What's the emotions like inside a person's brain and what's actually going on and stuff. And then they...
I'm going to go with Incredibles for the win.
Sure. Up versus Toy Story 2.
I loved Up.
Toy Story 2, though.
Toy Story 2 was good, but I loved Up so much.
Okay, well, we'll give
it was
it
so
Up.
sweet and sad.
Ooh, this is a hardcore battle. Finding Nemo. Finding Dory.
I haven't seen Finding Dory.
Same. Got to go with Finding Nemo by default.
It's a good one.
Back over here.
Okay, we're back to our bracket.
In a battle of the Lion King versus Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm going with Lion King.
Same. Lion King moves on.
Nostalgia, classic.
Aladdin versus Big Hero 6.
Aladdin.
Hunchback versus Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Tangled versus Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay. So
obviously
our final four on this side would be Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Toy Story versus Toy Story 3.
Toy Story.
Monsters, Inc. versus WALL-E.
Monsters,
Inc. Cars versus Incredibles. That was Up versus Finding Nemo.
I'm going to go with
Finding Nemo. Okay.
Only because Up was so freaking sad at the beginning.
Like this face that the bracket made?
Yeah.
Do you see the sad face it's making?
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram.
That's great.
For our listeners and viewers.
I'm going to save this and we're going to fill it out with our answers too.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't even bother taking a picture.
No worries. No worries. You're doing the right thing. You're being a pro about it. So okay.
What's next?
So we got to go back to our final fours here and break it down. We're getting close to the end here.
Can't
The
buy a
Lion
bucket.
King
Razzle dazzle.
versus Aladdin.
Going with Lion King.
I'm going with Aladdin.
Really?
Oh, hands
Okay.
down.
Make
my argument.
Make your argument. Convince me.
One name.
Robin Williams.
Hands down. Genie. It's the
Okay.
one of the greatest roles in Disney history.
Okay. I guess you can't place JTT next to Robin Williams.
No.
Okay.
No offense.
Aladdin for the win. I agree. I concur.
Ooh, Little Mermaid versus Beauty and the Beast. That's hardcore as fuck.
Little Mermaid.
But Little Mermaid definitely wins out. I think it's a better
loved
story.
Beauty and the Beast, and I loved the music.
Oh, yeah.
But I own the soundtrack to The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
You know that movie's going to win all these, right?
Maybe. We'll see. Toy Story versus Monsters, Inc. Toy Story. It's the OGest. I mean, that movie is...
I'm going to say if I had the choice to watch either Toy Story or Monsters, Inc., I'm going to go with Monsters, Inc.
Man, Monsters, Inc.'s okay. Ooh.
I like it because Toy Story, yet it was a great movie. It was an emotional movie. And Monsters, Inc. was also slightly emotional, but it ended so sweet. And I love Billy Crystal so much. And I love John Goodman so much.
As Mike Wazowski and Sully.
Yeah, and it was such an original
Steve Buscemi
idea.
is the villain.
Yeah, and Randall.
Randall,
It was
yeah.
such a great movie.
Yeah, okay. I agree. Monsters, Inc. wins. It's one of the final two. Now we've got The Incredibles versus Finding Nemo.
Incredibles.
Okay, so here we go. The final four. It's Aladdin versus The Little Mermaid. And, ooh, I don't know.
I'm going with Little Mermaid. I'd watch that over Aladdin any day.
I would watch Aladdin. That's, you know what that is?
It's you being a boy and me being a girl.
Absolutely, because we are both Disney kids.
I know.
And I watched the boy movie, and you, of course. But listen.
Okay, but the thing is, it's like...
Under the Sea is one of my favorite musical numbers. Let me just
It's one of the
break it
best
down. It is
musical
one of the
numbers.
best musical numbers. I don't disagree
Part
with
of
you.
Your World
However,
was such a great movie. Great song.
However, A Whole New World, Aladdin,
I don't
Winner.
know. SNL kind of ruined a whole new world for
Well,
me.
yeah, with that sketch with Adam Driver and Cecily Strong.
Yeah.
She's getting peed on and
I
stuff.
don't know. Well, Oliver and I recently watched Aladdin like a couple of months ago, and it didn't hold up for me.
What?
In regards to Jasmine.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think as I'm getting older, it's the worst thing, but I'm starting to relate more to the adults in the Disney movies.
You were saying that.
Than the main characters.
You were like, goddamn right, Ursula, you know what you're talking about.
No, I'm more like, goddamn right, King Triton, she needs a fucking chaperone because that bitch is all over the place and not listening to you. And she's 16.
Yeah,
Like in
she
Little
definitely
Mermaid.
needs this chaperone.
Yeah. And Princess Jasmine running away and being all bitchy, and I don't know. I think I'm just finally 31.
So, are you throwing down the gauntlet? Ooh, man, this is tough.
Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney. Like, in this bracket is my favorite Disney.
All right, so Little Mermaid. We've got Incredibles versus Monsters, Inc. Incredibles wins. Easy. It's definitely the better movie.
Yeah, Incredibles wins.
Okay, so now there's
It's
not
the
even
Little
a question.
Mermaid
It's the
versus
Little
Incredibles.
Mermaid.
Yeah, it's the Little Mermaid.
It's the Little Mermaid.
Uh-huh.
You were like, that motherfucker's winning.
I could have told you before we even started that of my favorites on this whole list, the Little Mermaid would be it.
Well,
But that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that. I'm going to save this image.
I like doing brackets. We should do that for something else.
We could make our own.
We should do like a... We've been talking about doing the season finale of season 2 of Foodies.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. And we've been talking about all these ideas we want to do for like an 80s movie podcast. Like all of our favorite 80s movies. And I don't really know how we're going to develop it yet, where we're going to go with it, but I want to do a bracket. That would be cool. What do you think? Oh, he's already looking.
I'm going to see. Oh, my God. There are so many brackets. Holy shit.
Damn. There are lots of brackets.
Those are for A24 movies. You know, like Lady Bird and stuff like that. Greatest superhero of all time. Best 80s. I can't see what that says. Workout songs. What?
Why would there be a bracket for that?
I don't know, but someone's fucked
weird.
up. People are weird. Maybe we'll just make our own. We'll just go through. We'll find the movies we like, and then we'll, for our finale, do that.
That sounds like a very nice rainy day project before the finale.
Yeah, and we'll have some time here to do that.
Yeah, I like that idea. Let's do that. Let's make our own.
All right. Well, it's pretty much time to get out of here. Before we go, let's go ahead and tell people where they can check us out. Obviously, at journeyintocomics.com, where you can get all of the different shows on our network. Just search Journey into Comics Network on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music. We are now on Spotify and have been for a couple months now, so check us out there. Obviously, you can go to our Patreon, give us $1 early access to every episode. As soon as we're done recording and editing it, it goes to your ears, hopefully before launch day, usually. And for $3, you get early access and exclusive content. And for $100, you get early access, exclusive content, and a life-size, full-scale replica of Dick's Dick from Podcastrophe with the free Tyler tickler for $0. That's real.
Jesus
they want to do
Christ.
that. They don't know how they're going to do that, but they really want to do that. But anyways,
I'm sure Dick knows a guy.
V, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
On that note.
All right. Well, for Season 2, Episode 22 of Foodies Watching Movies, this has been the Disney Zone. I am Nate.
I'm Veronica.
And as always, eat fearless. We'll see you guys later.
We're gonna fuck the sodomites in the...
This last Saturday was his last day at Subaru, and you know it was very sad. It bummed me out. I was almost completely defeated that day because I was told that I was going to be working on another team. So I'm like, fuck, I don't get to work with my best friend on his last day here. So, but about an hour or so into it, whoever I was filling in for actually showed up and came in, so I got to go back to my team and work with Tyler one last time. And yeah, it was a good day. It was a decent day. We went to good old DT Kirby's, a couple people from the team afterwards, and it was a good time. Miranda and I came, and we brought the kids, and yeah. So I don't really have much to talk about today. We got a lot coming up this weekend with LaffyCon, so this is really just going to be a brief, like, fill you guys in type episode. I have a few things I want to talk about, but for the most part, it's just going to be, telling you guys about LaffyCon and what to expect, what to bring. LaffyCon, it's this Saturday, June 29th. Actually, no, June 29th is Friday. Let me check. Yeah, June 29th is Friday. It is a Saturday, June 30th, and this Sunday, July 1st. So go down to Carnahan Hall and have a blast at LaffyCon. The Journey into Comics crew will be hosting its 200th episode live there, along with several other panels, including, what was his name? I can't remember his name, but had Jonathan Christopher Tyler? Yeah, I think that's his name. He was awesome last year. They did a panel. They did 2 panels with him last year, and he was just a blast to listen to. So please go down, check it out. I can't remember what the pricing is for getting in, but come on down, check out some geeky shit, watch us make asses of ourselves on stage, and come hang out with us. A lot of the Journey into Comics crew will be there. Nick Maxon, he's going to be working there too, from Brews with Dudes. I believe he's also running the game room. There's going to be a Smash Bros tournament, several other video games, and Settlers of Catan. Lots of stuff. So Saturday, Sunday, June 30th, July 1st. Check out LaffyCon down at Carnahan Hall. So this weekend, I went and saw Incredibles 2 with the girlfriend and her kids. It was an excellent sequel to the first. I mean, it's been, I think, 15, 16 years since the first Incredibles. I'm not going to go into spoiler details because, I don't have anybody here to talk about it with. So I'm just going to say, hey, it was an excellent sequel. I had a blast watching it. It was really cool to see those characters again from my childhood. And the only thing I noticed, the only thing that was really weird was they changed the actor, the child actor for Dash, which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, it's been like 15, 16 years since that. I mean, that kid's obviously grown up and more than likely has a way different voice, so obviously they had to change actors. Had to get me a drink from my 450 North Raspberry Passion Fruit Slurpee. It's my last one. I don't have any. I had to drink it. It's been a while. I've had this one for a while. Figured I'd get it out of the way for tonight. Incredibles 2, excellent movie. We brought the kids, and they were quiet the whole movie. Really, honestly, surprised me because they like to talk, and they like to talk and ask questions, and they don't sit still for very long. So it really shocked me that they were still and watched the movie the whole time. And there were other kids in the theater, and some people even brought their babies, which, for the love of fuck, don't bring your fucking baby to a movie. Like, what is the point? Find a babysitter, or don't go to the movie if you can't find a babysitter. Like, you are ruining other people's experience. There's no place for a baby in a movie theater. You can't control them. A baby is... It's an agent of chaos, and that's episode title. I'm calling it right now. Baby is agent of chaos. But there were other kids, they were talking here and there, but it wasn't bad. Like I said, Miranda's kids, they sat still. They or quiet the whole time. It was great, and I got to enjoy the movie. You know, I mean, not that I wouldn't have if they had talked. Like, they're kids. It's gonna happen, and it's a kids movie. So everyone was really excited to see it. So I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad that the kids had already seen it apparently. But like I said, I was glad I got to see it. I was glad Miranda got to see it with me. It was a good time, and we left there, and the kids were ready to pass out. So, easy night. Easy night indeed. Moving on. So, Monday night, Miranda and I had the night to ourselves, and we went and saw a little Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom, or I don't know if there's the in that, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And once again, I'm not going to get into spoiler territory, so I'm just going to give you like a quick, like what I think of it. Yeah, so, and I'm guessing, since Tyler had already seen it, he saw it before me, so we're probably going to discuss it next week when he returns, and we are in a new house, new studio, new setting. We have, it's going to be better. It's going to be way better. Jurassic World, my son, Austin T. Welch, who I had to trick to be on the show, also needs to come back to Indiana to be on the show again in a real show, not just playing Cards Against Humanity. But he comments on the live feed, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was hot garbage. I wouldn't say it was garbage. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't know how I feel about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It had a lot of cool moments. And it had a lot of moments that just I didn't know. And it just, I saw it coming with the first movie, Jurassic World. I saw it coming. They were trying to turn this beloved franchise from Jurassic Park, and like the first three films, while truly, like, fans can say unanimously the first one is perfect, it's amazing, it's great. Second and third one, fans kind of started getting divided. Not as good. Obviously, most sequels aren't as good. It happens. The third, obviously, being the worst. And looking back, like, I loved it as a kid. I was in 5th grade when the third movie came out. So, like, as a kid, I was like, fuck yeah, dinosaurs! But looking back, I'm like, it's not as good as I thought. Because, and it was a trend that I was starting, like, once I started watching these as an adult, looking back, and so the trend starts Jurassic Park 3, and it moves on to Jurassic World. Way, like, 15 years later? Yeah, there's a good 15 years in between movies. And so Jurassic World, it still had, while it held a lot of the same grandeur, and it made me feel like a little kid again watching that movie. I was geeking out hardcore the entire time, and it was so fantastic. I loved Jurassic World, but I saw the trend. They are turning this franchise into action blockbusters, summer action blockbusters, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's just, it's not meant to be that. I mean, I can see maybe action thriller or thriller blockbuster. Those movies aren't meant to have those cheesy fucking, like, moments. Not that there's anything wrong with cheesy moments, but they just, I don't see them really belonging in Jurassic Park.
Ashley is a little under the weather. Do you want to elaborate on what under the weather means, or do we want to just leave it at under the weather?
I'm having a colonoscopy tomorrow, so I'm going to be pooping a lot.
Yeah, she's going through the colonoscopy prep. I don't know if any of you have ever been through it, but you drink this solution. I think it's magnesium sulfite or something like that.
Oh, fucking
anyway, it makes all the water go to your colon, and you flush everything out of your body, like everything. So she's going to be shitting all night.
Yep.
And she already took the prep solution a couple hours ago, so it's
prime time.
So if we suddenly have to take a pause, we'll just say, BRB, move on with the show when she gets back. So poop break. Okay, so tonight's episode, we're gonna discuss some I hate to say summer tips because that sounds so lame, but kind of just stuff to do with the kids for summer. And do you hear? I think the kids are up. Somebody's running around upstairs.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah, that's all right.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, well, we may have to take a pause to go yell at them too. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Why should we take a pause? Let's let everybody listen.
hear how we deal with our kids. So before we get into the summer stuff, though, oh Jesus.
Such an idiot.
I guess while it's fresh on our minds, the first thing I wanted to talk about was Livy's meltdown. And I guess I should say plural, Livy's meltdowns, because this is something that she's kind of notorious for at this point. It's usually later at night when she's tired, or in the middle of the afternoon when she's ready for a nap or something. But she just goes into complete hysterics over something small usually, and she is completely inconsolable for a solid half hour usually. And we just unfortunately went through a meltdown because I picked her up from her mom's house today on my way home from work, and she has a stuffed animal that she sleeps with at her mom's. It's her stuffed monkey. And on her way out the door, her mom reminded her, "Hey, you're leaving your monkey here." And Livy said, "Yeah, I want to leave it here." She didn't want to bring it with. So we get home, everything's fine. She's happy today. She was in a good mood. She was playing with Scarlett. Everybody was happy, and everything was fine until bedtime. She laid down in bed, and then she said, "I want my monkey." And I said, "Well, you left it at your mom's house. We're not going to get it right now." And that's when the meltdown began. So she literally just sat there screaming, "Monkey, monkey, monkey," for about 10 minutes. I'm sure some of you parents have already had to deal with this because this is something pretty common for her age group. Fortunately for us, she's the only one that seems to do it out of our three.
Well, the difference in personalities between Scarlett and Livy kind of still astounds me sometimes. Like, Livy is definitely the more well-behaved one most of the time. She's polite, she listens, and then Scarlett's kind of the asshole to where she's kind of an asshole all the time. But then Livy, it's like Livy makes up for that when she has these meltdowns of hers where she is just insane.
Yeah, so after I tend to lose my cool pretty quick when she goes into meltdown mode. Like, I mean, I've got a little bit of a temper already, so like, I don't know, just something about when I'm trying to calm her down and I'm trying to get her to look me in the eye, or I'm trying to get her to just stop for a second so I can tell her something or so I can talk to her, and she just refuses. I lose it sometimes. So luckily, Ashley, she pulled me out pretty early today because I was going to start yelling. And that's the thing. The thing about these tantrums that she throws, these meltdowns, no amount of yelling helps.
No spanking, no yelling. She pretty much doesn't hear anything you say to her.
Yeah, and it's like she just completely shuts everything off. Even like she doesn't even know what she's saying sometimes. Like she'll just be on a loop the whole time. Whatever it was that she was upset about. What was
the last one on the way home from, I think, your mom's house?
Oh boy.
I don't want to go home or something. Or
or something along those lines. Like she didn't want to buckle up, or
she didn't want to leave.
She didn't want to. I don't remember, but
maybe it was on the way home from the mall. We left the play place in the mall.
Oh yeah. We had to force her into her car seat, which took both of us, 2 grown adults, to push her down into her car seat and buckle her, because she gets like this crazy, like super kid strength when she starts into the tantrums.
It's hard to do that without accidentally hurting her. So
that's the other scary thing. That's the other scary thing, is when you're trying to hold her down, or you don't. I don't anyway. I don't realize how much force I'm putting into it, but like she feels nothing. She feels no pain. She doesn't hear us. She doesn't see us. She just continues on her loop until, basically she just completely runs out of energy, and that's the only thing that stops her, is when she runs out of energy and either falls asleep or just snaps out of it sometimes. Like, I think that on the way home from the mall.
Break.
Oh, poop break. So anyway, on the way home from the mall, she was freaking out because she didn't want to leave the mall, and we finally wrestled her into the car, and we strapped her down, and we got out of the parking lot, and she was screaming all the way home. So the mall to our house is roughly 35-minute drive, I'd say, and she was screaming and screaming and screaming.
What, I don't want to leave or something.
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't want to leave, or I don't want to go, or whatever it was.
So it's like when she got in her little mood, she didn't even realize that we'd already left. So.
Yeah, but then here's the crazy part, and this is how it normally happens too. So we're going down I-65, and I'd say we made it to about maybe like the 231 exit or something, which about 15 minutes from the mall, somewhere in there. And out of nowhere, she stops crying. She's dead silent for about a minute, and then all of a sudden she just goes, "Can we watch a movie?" And because we have the DVD player in the van, and she
we must be thinking about different times, because I'm remembering a time where she was crying all the way to the door of the apartment.
Oh, see, I must be thinking of a different time, because I'm thinking. Are you sure the mall one? I'm pretty sure ended with her wanting to watch a movie in the van on the drive home. I don't know.
They all blend
I was going to say there's been so many of these. She's very prone to these.
It's just so insane though to me, because she's so good otherwise.
Most of the time, yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, for all the good, there has to be just
it's like something
extra bad.
She holds in all her bad stuff, and then it just
bad stuff.
I don't know what to say. And then she just lets it all out. Whereas like I said, Scarlett is just kind of an asshole all the time.
Yeah,
and I've never
spreads
known
out her
her
asshole nice and even.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that sounded really wrong.
You guys know what we mean. I have never known Scarlett to have one of those tantrums. Have you? I can't think.
I can't think of any. I don't remember her doing it at all. Mm-mm. But anyway, so yeah, in those states, and tonight Ashley tried something that we don't normally try, because we both usually lose our patience pretty early. But this really worked. She just sat in the room with her and just kept telling her, like, whatever Livy kept bargaining, like she wanted to get out of her room, or she wanted the door open or whatever. And she kept saying, I'll stop crying as soon as you open the door, and I'll stop crying if my dad comes in here, or I'll get in bed if my dad comes in here, and I want my dad, and blah, blah, blah. And Ashley just kept telling her, like, I'm in control, you're not in control, your dad will come in after you lay down, or I'll open the door after you stop crying. And it took a while, but
prior to this, like, usually I was just going to let her cry it out, but then she kept opening the door, and it's like the other kids are trying to sleep, and I kept shutting her door, and then she kept opening it, because she wants everybody to hear that she's sobbing. Mm-hmm. And for a while there, I sat outside the door and just held it closed, and she's freaking out. But then my hands started getting tired, so I just decided to go in the room. I leaned against the door, let her have her breakdown, and I was just standing there, letting her know it's not bothering me. She can do this as long as she wants to. And then she kept saying she wants to get out, and I said, I'll open your door as soon as you stop crying, And then, like Chris said, I'll stop crying when you open the door. Nope, it's not how this is working. And then it turned into, I'll lay down when my dad comes in here. And I said, nope, that's not how this works. And then eventually she kind of wore herself out. And then she just kind of sat on the floor crying. And then I sat down with her. And then she, oddly enough, cuddled up against me. I figured she'd be really mad at me. And then
honestly, sometimes I think that's all she really wants is just to cuddle for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That always mellows her out.
I feel like after she sobs for a while, yeah. I don't think that's what she wants in the beginning.
But the problem is, and we've spent plenty of time talking about like things that her mom does that drives us nuts. But this one I'm not saying she's blameless, but it's all me over here. I know like I'm the king of bargaining with my kids just because
it's so annoying.
I want them to feel like they can
have whatever the hell they want.
Not have whatever they want, but I want if they want something, I want them to earn it, I want them to know if they want to do something, they can do it, but they have to do something else to get it, So I bargain with them all the time, and
even when they don't keep up their end of the deal. Chris, like, well, I promised.
I don't like breaking promises to my kids. Like, at that point, I know it's not like a broken promise because they didn't hold up their end, but I still feel guilty.
It's time for Brews with Dudes. Ah, juicy.
I'm pouring this beer, and it looks pretty much the same hue and color that the last one did.
I went ahead and rearranged the deck and picked my cards, so we're back on Brett's turn. What beer did you pull?
This is the Blood Orange Milkshake. The Orange Velvet from Four Noses Brewing Company. Is this something you got on your vacation recently?
This is something that was given to me by Mr. Tex.
This is also from Colorado. This is Broomfield, Colorado. Let's get a good sip of this.
That is very tasty.
Wow. A lot smoother than any Blood Orange IPA I've had before. A lot of the blood orange to me is always just super bitter. Bitter.
It hits you very hard, and then a lot of the taste is on the back end, which leaves immediately.
I got a creamy, fruity flavor instead of that bite to it, for me personally.
No, it's one of those beers that really just enters your mouth, hits it, and leaves. It doesn't stick around very long.
All right, I'm gonna play a card that hasn't been played yet on my turn. I'm going to do an attack. This is Unleash Some Adorable Penguin Diarrhea. So I get to end my turn without drawing a card, and the next player to my left takes 2 turns.
I am going to take both turns.
I'll draw your first turn. Draw your first turn and see if you get one of the exploding kittens. Nope. Looks good for the first. So now he's going to decide. Get a little hasty. I'll watch out for that. I'm not going to let you just dive in like that. I will say we're kind of going into this episode already a little lit from Suzette's birthday. We've had a great night so far.
I'll do 2 bikini cats, which allows me to draw a card from your hand at random.
That it does. Let me set this mic down and shuffle up real quick.
So yeah, we just got back from Suzette's birthday party. I think she's saying she's 30, but she doesn't look a day over 22. So bravo to Suzette. She's been an inspiration to the team. I just drew a random card from Brett. It was pretty alright. And then I will draw my random card from the deck. And now we're back on Brett's turn.
Say this is the unfortunate thing about only having 2 players. There's only 1 kitten in here. You always have 1 kitten less than players. So we've got probably like 80 to 100 cards to go through.
Yeah, I mean it's a
war of attrition, but
it's a big deck. So
at least we get to chat while we play and all of that.
This blood orange is really, despite all the bitter beers that we've drank, the orange really sneaks through. The thing I think about Colorado brews is they're really trying to stand out to everybody else.
I can see that.
Because there's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. So first step on my turn, I'm going to play 2 Mama Cats, and I get to steal one at random from Nick, unless if he has a nope card to say about it. I don't know what it is about these last 2 beers. I don't get super bitterness behind it. And I understand with this one, it is a milkshake IPA. He's going to note me. I'll allow it. But with it being a milkshake IPA, like, I understand usually they're creamier, they're not heavy up front on that bitterness. But Two Hearted, even, like, the first initial that I get with that IPA and why I love it so much is it gives me that kind of classic bite that I like. This is really smooth. It's fruity, it's creamy, and I like that. But my first initial reaction with IPA, and this is me going from shitty fucking beer to IPAs were the craft I loved, that bite is what got me. It's what pulled me in.
Did you see the Two Hearted one for the 2nd year in a row?
Number one selling.
Zymergy, number 1 beer of the year.
Yep. That's crazy.
I really hate being an asshole, but I can't argue. Like, whenever we go out, like, if you don't have a good beer,
you have Two Hearted.
I'm going for Two Hearted.
Yeah.
Two Hearted is the go-to.
Like, even tonight, you ordered Two Hearted a couple times. I got the Sweetwater 420 IPA, which I like a lot. It's a little bit lighter, more crispy, not as heavy as Two Hearted. I was looking for something a little lighter. But that's just it. You know, I go into a bar and I look like, all right, what do you have selection-wise? They're going to always have Two Hearted, no matter where you go. You know, whether it's a restaurant, bar, whatever, guaranteed you can almost find Two Hearted. One I can also say, you can always find the Lagunitas IPA.
2 favors, so I get a random from your pile.
All out.
He's going to do it. So, I played 2 cards that were the same. So I get to pick a random card from his pile. If I look at it, our discard pile is about half of the draw pile. So
it's about to come down. Like, our hands are going to be stocked as hell, and it's going to come down to each of us really fucking each other over.
Back to you, sir.
Look at my hand here real quick.
I saw the one, so...
You saw the one you got.
That's okay.
You know, I think I'm just going to draw.
Go for it.
Back to you, buddy. I do like how this is, you know, for a blood orange. Most blood oranges, like I said, are a little bit not too bitter. I do like the bitterness. I like that this one is the creamy because it's the milkshake. I think really the only milkshake I've had except for
See the future.
one other company's is 420's milkshakes that they do. The most recent was the strawberry milkshake. And oh, man. That strawberry milkshake was amazing. So good. So Nick did a See the Future. Earlier he did an Alter the Future. See the Future, he gets to look. No, you can't change. You did a See the Future. That's what I was going to say. Alter the Future is look at the top 3, put them back any way you want. See the Future is look at top 3. You have to put them back the way they came. So now he can still play a card from his hand to try and alter that line. That's why we love this game. It's deck manipulation. It's quick, especially with more than 2 players. but it's definitely a fun game.
I'll just take that first card. And it's back to you.
So now he knows what I'm going to draw. I'm going to stare him in the eyes.
I'm not going to look at it.
I know, which gives me a little bit of a hint to what I'm going to draw. And because of that, I'm not even going to look at my hand. I'm just going to draw that top card. And it's back to him because I didn't get that exploding kitten.
That is okay.
Yeah, once it comes down. So real quick, a little bit about the rules of this game. Once you get the kitten, you get to put it wherever you want, and the other players cannot know. They have to look away. So Nick could put it right back on top if he drew it, and I have to try and manipulate it, but I have no idea. So he just drew. It's back to my turn. I'm just going to draw that top card and pass it back to Nick. I definitely would buy this orange velvet again if I can find it. This is very good. I like it a lot.
It's okay. It's not totally blowing me away.
I think I like it better than the Troll Amarillo. I have a little more distinct flavor that I pick up on.
I would agree.
It goes down just as smooth, just as easy. I could chug one if I needed to or decided I wanted to, I guess. But at least I can pick up on that flavor that I want. It says it's a blood orange IPA. I get that blood orange flavor. Sorry. With the Troll Amarillo, yeah, first initial, I knew it was the Amarillo hops, but nothing super specific, I guess. I think I'm just going to end my turn and draw, though. Yeah, still no kitten. There's only one of, I don't know how many fucking cards. Nick just bought a new game tonight, though.
I did.
Called Power Grid, and we thought about it. We were going to try and play it, but it seems like a lot. I don't think we'd be able to. I didn't. They turned over to where I couldn't see, and I'm looking away. He dropped his cards.
I dropped my card.
He dropped his cards, fellas.
We're both sitting with, like,
yeah,
big piles.
Oh, yeah. Usually, like, you don't have a hand over probably 10 cards, and we're both sitting with, like, about 20 in hand. So you drew your card for turn?
I did. We're back to you.
So this weekend you've got LaffyCon going on.
Yeah. And by the time people listen to this, it will be...
As soon as it airs, it's going to be going on. Yeah. I'm excited for it. This
is the 4th year we've been doing it. I've kind of been taking just the biggest role. You know, we've all been doing everything. And this year I finally said, I was like, how about we all just pick our thing? And my thing was the gaming. So I'm hosting the gaming tournaments. And I'm excited because that's what it was honestly all about. I remember when it first started, Seema hit me up and she said, hey, no offense, but I know you're a nerd. And a friend of mine wants to do this con. So do you want to help? And I'm like, yeah, of course I want to help. So I'm excited. We're in our 4th year. We did 2 years down at the Lafayette Theater in downtown Lafayette. This is our 2nd year in Market Square. This is the first year that I have explicitly taken over the gaming role. So
a department, we'll say, even.
Yeah. So I will be hosting everything: video games, board games, pinball, everything.
I saw we're doing there's Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers. We're doing another game called no, not Boss Monster. We're doing 5-Minute Dungeon. That would be that'd be a fun one to try and podcast if we can find a way to be able to hear all of us.
And the 5-Minute Dungeon is like just a challenge. So it's like you bring your team and the goal is to win. And if you don't win, just get as far
Elimination.
as you can.
Yeah.
That's the only goal.
Yep.
The goal is to get as far as you can or to win faster.
Yeah.
And I said, it's like, you bring a team or you do it by yourself. I think the way that we've got it, I think I said you can do it with 4 people. I think you can do it with up to 5 people. I've come very close with 4 people, and I've won one time, but it was with 5 people.
I thought the game that I've only played one game of it. I thought it was with 4 people. Did we have 5 that night?
The initial game is 4 people, but I borrowed from our friend Chris Charles from Bizarre Noir. He has the expansion that allows you to play with 5 people. So I have played with 5 and 6 people.
Well, the only game I've played, we won. I only played one game because you bought it and we kept talking about it, but I wasn't able to come over. And the one time you said, "Look, let's play it," we got through it and won.
I don't know. I don't know. It's an amazing game.
It's very fast paced. It's
called 5-Minute Dungeon. Yep. You literally have 5 minutes, and
there's five bosses.
The first dungeon, you have I don't know if this is correct. You have 20 cards in the deck, and the card pulls over, and it says you have to fight a Minotaur, which costs 1 sword, 1 shield, and 1 something else. And you have to play cards to defeat the card. So you get so many cards, and you're constantly drawing cards. You can only have so many cards in your hand.
Your person is a character with special abilities that, you've got those 4 symbols that you're going to draw more of. So if
I'm a warrior, I'm going to draw fighting cards.
Right.
If Brett is a wizard, he's going to draw magic cards.
So you have to be very fast, but yet still work together. It's one of those ones where I hope your kids aren't sleeping because you're going to be fucking yelling and screaming. We were like, "I'm going to do this." No, I'm going to do this. No. And like it literally comes down to just speed, and it does take random fucking teamwork almost. Like, I know that's an oxymoron, but you just got to kind of work together to...
That is a fun thing that as I play more games recently in the past year or so, when you think of board games, you think of competing. And the more games I play, I realize that there are games that are cooperative.
Yes.
So this 5-Minute Dungeon is a cooperative game.
Solely cooperative.
If you lose... Everyone loses. It's either everybody wins or everybody loses.
Yep.